Thanks for clicking on this video. If you want to follow along, the links to the companion worksheet are in the description below. Now today we're working with multiplying complex numbers in trigonometric form. So in a previous video, we talked about how to take complex numbers in standard form, that is a plus bi, and turn them into trigonometric form. But here we're going to have the numbers already in trigonometric form, and we're going to find their product. So here we have these two numbers. 7, that's the magnitude, cosine 35 degrees plus I sine 35 degrees. And then here, 4, that's that magnitude, cosine of 120 degrees plus I sine 120 degrees. And so when you have two complex numbers in trigonometric form, what you do is you take the two magnitudes and you multiply them. And you take the two angles and you add them. So this is going to be 28 cosine 155 plus I sine 155. And so this is what we get when we multiply these two complex numbers. Now, if you want to, you can also simplify this and write it in a shorter form. And depending on the teacher or the textbook, may determine which of these forms is acceptable for you. But either way communicates the same information. There's the magnitude and there's the angle. And that's here and here. Okay. For the next one, here are our two magnitudes, square root of 3 and square root of 5. So when I multiply them, I can multiply them together because they're both under the same radical. So that's square root of 15. And then I have 104 and negative 37 degrees. So when I add them, I get cosine of 67 degrees plus I sine of 67 degrees. And if I want to, I can write it in the shorthand, 15 CIS 67 degrees. Now on the next page, here we have these in radians, but it's still the same idea. We're going to multiply the magnitudes and we're going to add the angles. Now instead of pi over 3, I'm going to write this as 2 pi over 6. That's going to give me a common denominator so I can add those together. So 8 times 7 is 56. And then we have cosine. 2 pi over 6 plus 7 pi over 6 is 9 pi over 6, which is really 3 pi over 2 when I simplify it, plus I sine of 3 pi over 2. And if I want to write it in a more simplified form, 56 CIS 3 pi over 2. And then for this last one, here we have 3 pi over 4 and 2 pi over 5. As our angles, square root of 11, a common denominator, I need to rewrite these with a denominator of 20. So I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 5. So I get a denominator of 20, so that's 15 pi over 20. And I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 4. So that's 8 pi. All right. So my product, that's what we get when we multiply these two, times cosine, and when I add these, I get 23 pi over 20, and we can't simplify that, plus I sine 23 pi over 20. And in shorter form, that's going to be 11 square root of 11 over 3 CIS 23 pi over 20. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. To support the channel, click the links down in the description below. Thanks for watching. And remember, the best way to understand something is to do it.